In this deep dive, we uncover the shocking connection between King Vaughn and Lil Durk's arrest for murder for hire, and how Vaughn's life may have unintentionally landed Durk behind bars. What was meant to be an act of loyalty might have turned into the very thing that cost Durk his freedom. Here's the story behind how King Vaughn, even in losing his lifee, might have been a reason Lil Durk was arrested. Now let's get into it. Let's take it back to the beginning, before the headlines, before the court cases, before the chaos. King Vaughn and Lil Durk weren't just two rappers from Chicago. They were brothers in spirit, bonded by the streets, loyalty, and music. From the trenches to the charts, they had each other's backs. Vaughn was the wild one, the muscle, the one who didn't hesitate to ride for his people. Durk was the mastermind, the one who made sure they all ate and had a future. Together, they were unstoppable. But the streets don't play fair. And loyalty? Sometimes it's the very thing that destroys you. After King Vaughn was tragically shot and killed in Atlanta in November 2020, the entire hip-hop world was shaken. Fans cried. Chicago mourned. Lil Durk went silent. No tweets. No posts. Just pain. Real pain. The kind of pain that doesn't show up on Instagram. Because this wasn't just his artist. This wasn't just his friend. This was his blood, his soldier, his brother. And deep down, Durk knew this couldn't go unanswered. Fast forward a few months later, and rumors started to float. Whispers in the streets. Talks about retaliation. About someone out there who had a price on their head. The streets don't forget. And when someone like Vaughn goes down, you better believe something's coming. But no one expected what came next. In early 2024, Lil Durk was arrested. The charge? Murder for hire. Yeah, you heard that right. They said Durk put money on someone's head. The internet exploded. Everyone had questions. Why would someone like Durk, a millionaire with fame and fortune, risk it all for a hit? Then came the twist. During a private conversation leaked to the media, allegedly between Durk and one of his close associates, a truth came out that no one was ready for. Durk didn't do it for money. He didn't do it for power. He did it for Vaughn. Because apparently, before Vaughn died, he had one final request. One last wish. And it wasn't about music. It wasn't about legacy. It was about revenge. Reports say Vaughn told Durk that if anything ever happened to him, if he got killed, betrayed, or set up, he wanted Durk to make it right. Not with words, but with action, with blood. Vaughn had enemies, no doubt about it. He had beef with rappers, street dudes, even people in his own circle. And Vaughn, being who he was, didn't care about the consequences. He wanted justice, and he wanted it the only way he knew how, by force. He made that clear to Durk. And as much as Durk tried to move past the street life, that one request stayed with him. Durk sat on it. He tried to focus on his music, tried to raise his kids, tried to turn the page. But grief has a way of creeping in. And when you lose someone like Vaughn, someone who took bullets for you, stood by you when no one else would, that pain turns into pressure. And that pressure? It turned into a plan. Now, the feds didn't say who the target was. But what we do know is that Durk's communication was being monitored for months. They had texts, calls, even intercepted messages. And somewhere in those conversations was enough for them to charge him. The plot wasn't sloppy. It was smart, quiet, but not quiet enough. The feds had been watching ever since Vaughn's death. They knew Vaughn had enemies. They knew Durk was hurting, and they were waiting for him to slip. What's crazy is that Durk, in a moment of raw honesty, admitted that he didn't even want to go through it at first. He felt torn. Half of him wanted to let it go, let God handle it. But the other half, the half that grew up dodging bullets and burying friends, that half couldn't let it slide. He felt like if he didn't do it, he'd be betraying Vaughn, like Vaughn would be looking down, disappointed. So he gave in, and that's how it all went down. Durk didn't get caught because he's dumb. He got caught because he was loyal. Too loyal. Loyal to a fault. He didn't pull the trigger. He didn't even meet the hitman face to face. But he gave the green light. That's what the feds say. And in their eyes, that's enough. And here's where it gets real deep. If Vaughn never made that request, if he never planted that seed, maybe Durk wouldn't be in this mess. Maybe he'd still be on tour, making millions, living free. But instead, he's locked up, waiting for trial, fighting for his life. It's a twisted story, because the same love that made Vaughn ask for revenge is the same love that got Durk arrested. And now fans are asking, is King Vaughn the real reason Lil Durk is behind bars? Not in a hateful way, not to blame Vaughn, but just asking if loyalty to Vaughn became Durk's downfall. It's sad, really, because Durk tried to do the right thing. He gave back to his community. He mentored young rappers. He changed his life. But the past has a way of catching up. And in this case, the past wore a familiar face. King Vaughn's. May his soul rest in peace. Some say this